Something changed in the last 90 days. Wall Street's most powerful players are quietly moving billions into one single asset. It's not stocks, it's not crypto, and it's definitely not real estate. If you're still holding cash in 2025, you could be on the verge of losing everything. What I'm about to show you has been confirmed by 3 former Fed insiders, and they're all terrified. Welcome back to the channel where we expose the financial secrets they don't want you to know. Before we dive in, I need you to do something. Take a quick look at your bank account right now. That number you see? By the end of this video, you'll understand why it could already be worth 30% less than you think. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the real reason Jamie Dimon bought $141 million in gold last quarter, a chilling pattern from 1929 that's repeating right now, and the exact 72-hour window you might have to protect yourself. But first, you need to understand what's happening behind the closed doors of the Federal Reserve. October 24, 1929. Black Thursday. The day the stock market lost $14 billion in a single session. Families were destroyed, savings evaporated. It was a dark time on Wall Street. But here's what they don't teach you in school. 6 months before the crash, the biggest names on Wall Street, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, Joseph Kennedy, they all did the same thing. They sold everything. They knew what was coming. Every single one of them knew. Now, let me show you something that should make your blood run cold. This is the Dow Jones in 1929 before the crash. And this is the S&P 500 right now. Do you see that? It's the exact same pattern, the same euphoric rise, the same distribution phase, the same topping formation, but it gets even worse. In August 2024, something happened that hasn't occurred since 1928, just before the Great Depression. Warren Buffett sells $90 billion in stock. Ray Dalio says he's worried about the banking system. Jamie Dimon dumps his personal holdings. The smart money isn't just selling stocks. They're buying physical gold at a rate we haven't seen in 50 years. So, why? What do they know that you don't? To understand what's coming, you need to know about a weapon the Federal Reserve has been building since 2008. It's called the repo market, and it's a $4 trillion time bomb. Here's how it works in simple terms. Every single night, Wall Street banks borrow trillions from the Fed just to stay liquid. Think of it like a payday loan for billionaires. But in September 2024, something broke. The Fed had to inject $278 billion in emergency liquidity in just 48 hours. That number? It's bigger than the entire 2008 Bear Stearns bailout, and almost nobody talked about it. Now, here's where this gets personal for you. Since 2020, the U.S. has printed 40% of all dollars ever created. 40%. In just 4 years. And every single one of those new dollars makes your dollars worth less. You felt it at the grocery store, at the gas pump, and in your rent. That isn't just inflation. That's currency destruction. And Wall Street knows the end game. The dollar is facing immense pressure and is at risk of losing its status as the world's reserve currency. Nations like China, Russia, Brazil, and India are all working together to build an alternative, a new system. And if that happens, the entire American financial system could face a collapse. This is exactly why the elites are buying gold right now. Don't trust me. Trust the numbers. Let's look at what the big players are doing, not what they're saying. The latest Q3 2024 SEC filings just dropped, and the picture they paint is crystal clear. JP Morgan? They've upped their gold reserves by a staggering 67%. Goldman Sachs? They just snapped up $2.3 billion in gold ETFs. And Bridgewater Associates, one of the biggest hedge funds on the planet, now has 22% of its entire portfolio in gold. Let's be very clear about who we're talking about. These aren't small-time retail investors hopping on a trend. These aren't the folks from Reddit trying to make a quick buck. These are the institutions, the financial titans, the very people who write the rules of the game we all have to play. They are quietly and systematically moving their wealth into the oldest, most reliable store of value known to man: gold. And the most alarming part? Almost no one is connecting this to the other big story. Back in January 2025, a small announcement from the U.S. Treasury went largely unnoticed. They announced they're conducting the first full audit of the gold reserves in Fort Knox since 1974. Ask yourself, why now? After 51 years of letting it sit there, supposedly secure, why the sudden urge to count the bars? The answer is simple and terrifying. They need to know exactly how much physical gold is actually in the vaults before the entire financial system they've built on paper and promises comes crashing down. They are preparing for a reset, and they need to know what real assets they have on the books. This isn't just a random guess. I've spent months, years even, piecing together the data, tracking the money flows, and analyzing historical patterns. And based on everything I've researched, a timeline is beginning to emerge. It's a sequence of events that the elites are betting on, and it's happening faster than anyone thinks. It starts in the first quarter of 2025. You'll see the Federal Reserve begin a series of emergency rate cuts. The media will spin it. The talking heads will tell you the economy is strong, that this is just a precautionary measure. But it will be the first sign that the engine is seizing up. The debt burden will become too much to bear, and they'll have to start injecting liquidity to keep things from freezing. Then, as we move into the second and third quarters of 2025, the real cracks will appear. We'll start to see regional bank failures. And I'm not talking about small, isolated incidents. Think bigger than Silicon Valley Bank. These will be significant institutions, and their collapse will send shockwaves through the system, creating a domino effect that the Fed will struggle to contain. Public confidence in the banking sector will evaporate overnight. That leads us to the fourth quarter of 2025. With the banking system in turmoil, the stock market will finally break. We're not talking about a 10% or 20% correction. We are looking at a potential drop of 40 to 60%. Your 401k, your retirement accounts, the paper wealth that you've been told is safe, could be cut in half, or worse, in a matter of weeks. This all culminates in 2026. We'll be facing a fork in the road. Either a full systemic collapse where the entire financial plumbing breaks down, or a total, unprecedented intervention by the Federal Reserve. This is where they will likely try to introduce their final solution, a central bank digital dollar, a programmable currency that gives them complete control over your money, your spending, and your life. If this timeline is even close to accurate, you might have about 6 months, maybe less. The window to prepare is closing rapidly. The elites, the billionaires, the rule makers, they've already made their moves. They're positioned. The only question left is, will you be? Now, I have to say this. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I'm just a researcher, a pattern recognizer, and I'm showing you exactly what the wealthiest people in the world are doing to protect themselves. So, what's their playbook? Step 1 is simple: physical assets. They are converting their paper wealth into things you can actually hold. This means 10 to 20% of your liquid net worth should be considered for physical gold or silver. And I have to stress the word physical. Not paper ETFs, not mining stocks, not certificates. I'm talking about coins and bars that you hold in your possession, outside of the banking system. When the system fails, a piece of paper saying you own gold won't be worth the paper it's printed on. Step 2 is about reducing your exposure to the banks. Look at your bank account. Your deposits are not your assets. They are unsecured loans to the bank. They are the bank's assets. Keep only what you absolutely need for 1 or 2 months of living expenses in the banking system. Anything more is an unnecessary risk in the environment we are heading into. Remember the bail-ins in Cyprus? It can happen here. Step 3 is to diversify your currency exposure. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for decades, but that era is coming to a violent end. The wealthy are already moving assets into other currencies and, more importantly, into assets that are not denominated in any single currency. They are spreading their risk globally. knowing that when the dollar falls, it will fall hard. And step 4 is about preparing for the chaos that will inevitably follow a financial collapse. This goes beyond money. This is about real-world resilience. Do you have a supply of food and water? Do you have cash on hand for when the digital payment systems go down? Most importantly, have you built a strong community? Your connections with neighbors and local groups will be more valuable than any currency in a crisis. Now, hearing all this might sound like doom-mongering. It might sound scary, but this isn't about fear. It's about pattern recognition. It's about looking at history and understanding that these cycles happen. And what gives me hope, what should give you hope, is what happens every single time the elites try to consolidate their power through a manufactured financial collapse. The people wake up. In 1929, the Great Depression led to massive banking reforms like Glass-Steagall that protected citizens for decades. In 2008, the global financial crisis sparked a worldwide awareness movement. People started asking questions about the Federal Reserve, about Wall Street, about how our money really works. The crisis of 2025 and beyond. It will be bigger than anything we've ever seen, and the awakening will be just as massive. Yes, they may control the money supply, they may control the politicians and the media, but they do not control you. They don't control your mind, your spirit, or your ability to prepare. Knowledge is the ultimate form of wealth, and today, you've been given a glimpse of what they know. You see the board, you see the pieces moving. If this information has shifted your perspective, if it's opened your eyes, then you need to subscribe to this channel right now. We are tracking this collapse in real time. I'll be releasing emergency updates and deeper analysis as we get closer to the flashpoint. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because when the first domino falls, you will have hours, not days, to make your final moves. Share this video with everyone you care about. Your family, your friends, they deserve to know what's coming. Don't let them be caught by surprise, and if you're ready to go even deeper down the rabbit hole, watch this video next. It breaks down the secret Federal Reserve meeting that took place in March 2024 and what was discussed behind closed doors. The clock is ticking. The elites are in position. Don't be their exit liquidity. Stay safe and stay informed.